Good afternoon for some people. So, the title of this live is The Power in Your 50s. And it's also discounts for 50 plus because someone sent me this long list of discounts for people 50, 55, 60 plus. And I knew about some, right? But I didn't know the list was so long, so I'm actually going to just put it in the description in just a few minutes. I mean, things, everything from travel, hotel discounts, things up to 25 to 50% off. Um, your local grocery store. Did you know you can get a free coffee every day at Dunkin' Donuts? So even though I make my own coffee right here and it's good, that's good to know. All right. Well, anyway, good morning. And the last thing was about being a grandmother, which is the biggest thing on my mind right this minute. Um, I was thinking about all the things my own grandmother did for me when I was younger, when my mother couldn't, or my father couldn't. My dad was gone from the age of about 3.5 for me until he suddenly came back into my life at age 11, and I saw him maybe once a year. And you know how those things go, like after the hard years of child raising, most of them are over, like the labor intensive part, the changing the diapers, the wiping the tears, the explaining how the world goes. After that's over, he came back, right? And then when I was an adult, right? When my grandmother stepped in and helped, no way do you know, no matter how much you love your grandparents and no matter how much you show appreciation and all of that, and my grandmother's gone now, you never know all the emotions and the feelings and all that stuff they go through and all the sacrifices they've made until usually you are a grandparent yourself. So you can guess, but you never really know. So those are the three topics I said I'd bring up today. The power of being in your 50s, especially since I just turned 58 this month. Thanks for the birthday wishes. I also this past year went through a major ageism experience with one of my, they're not a side hustle, something, a very big step, a consulting position, international position that I was doing on the side, that I was doing a great job and everything, but once they noticed how old I really was, somehow things started happening. And then many of you know, especially for black women, 50 up, we have what's called a triple whammy. Women who are 50 up usually have a double whammy. And then if you're 50 up and you're a man, usually it's just the whammy of ageism, right? So I have a triple whammy, right, that I deal with. But there's power in our 50s, and a lot of younger people don't know that until they hit the 50s. And then they don't know all of that. They know they hear about the negatives, but yeah, ageism exists. There are also things you need to realize when you turn 50, 60, 70, and all that. Yeah, sometimes there are things that you need to step back and allow the younger people to do. Kind of what President Biden had to do this past week. But we just saw two sides of a coin right there, with President Biden stepping back because he's in his 80s, and with all that knowledge he has, and he'll still have all that knowledge that he can share as a consultant, he still needed to step back. Good morning or good afternoon if you're on the East Coast or Central Time. We're near the mountains, so it's still morning for us. Good morning. But the two sides of that coin, his stepping back and Kamala stepping forward as a 59-year-old woman who's going to be 60 in October, right? Showing that not only does she have the power, but she has the energy and she has the she has the ability and she has the knowledge to step forward. So that's two sides of that ageism coin right there. Good morning, you guys. So, talking about the power in our 50s and knowing what sort of things we need to put on the shelf, what things we need to re energize, and where we can draw from our power, right? In our 50s, 50 plus. So this is 50 plus self-care journey. So those of you who just popped in for any other reason, you're welcome. But I was just talking about ageism and the strengths and knowledge that you have when you're in your 50s. And also being able to realize that, yes, you still do have strength, you still do have knowledge, but there's some other things going on physically and emotionally. And just because it's that time of life, that sometimes you might need to step back. So if you are on here and you're in your 80s and or 90s, because my aunt, she's 98 and she just sent me something yesterday, right? So you can be 98 years old and still have some power and some memories and knowledge, but sometimes you might need to step back. And then if you still have things that you feel that you can contribute to the world, go ahead and do that. So we're at a very powerful and very deep time of life right now, right? So anyway, our second topic, those discounts, as I mentioned at the beginning. So we just finished talking about the power, and my son is driving up now, blasting his music. Anyway, those discounts I'll put down in the description. And the third part about being a grandmother, I may have to talk about later because he just arrived and I'm about to be mom. So talk to you soon.